So, welcome. It is Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline, and Arthur is here.
Hey,
Ryan's getting his vagina vajazzled,
yeah,
and don't you do like reconstructive surgery now on those things when
yeah.
they get all like
You can get like a full-on like
destroyed by like
overhaul.
too many D's in there at one time?
Oh, yeah, they do that overhaul. You just bring it to the mechanic. Like
Yeah.
better.
Stitch it up a bit, make the hole smaller. Yeah. So that's probably what he's doing tonight. Either that or attending like a white power rally. One of those two things. Maybe both.
Oh, fuck.
So, I just want to briefly mention, anybody who's listening, please go onto Facebook, look up Andrew Cole. That's his name, Andrew Cole. Or look up You Think I'm a Joke or No Joke. He's a singer-songwriter that Ryan and I interviewed years ago. He's actually Canadian, but he grew up in England, so he has a great English accent. And he's made a song about bullying. He's got Patrick Stewart. He's got Jeff Goldblum. Lemmy. Is that his name? Lemmy?
Lemmy. What, from Motorhead?
Yeah.
That guy died years ago. Or last year.
Yeah, but he's been making this record, and he's got a documentary. He's been making it for like 5 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's got Lemmy, and he's got, what's the guy? The guy that I think is the drummer in the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, yeah. It looks like Will Ferrell.
Yeah. So he's got a bunch of guys on there, and he's made a documentary explaining why he's made this movie, and he interviews people. And in the trailer, you see Patrick Stewart, and what's her name? I cannot think of her name. She does. She was the mean coach on Glee, and she has that. Oh God.
Big tall woman.
Jane Lynch. Yeah. Jane Lynch. Yes, she's in it, and both Patrick Stewart and Jane Lynch say that they were the bullies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it looks great. I don't know when it's being released, but the trailer was just released today. And like I said, this is he's a really great guy. I've been following his page for years, and he does a lot of good works. And it's nice to see that he's trying to give something back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyway, try to follow it, and if that movie comes out or you get the chance to hear the song or see the movie, share it because it's great.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I guess we'll follow up because we talked about this story recently. Mm-hmm. I don't think Ryan was here. I think it was just you and I. But it was, remember we were talking about that movie that was being made with the Hindu princess and the Muslim, I don't know what he was, conqueror, whatever you would call it. So that movie's about to be released in India.
Mm-hmm. And it's still a shit show,
and people are losing their shit still. No. You've got a Hindu leader guy who's got thousands of followers who has threatened to kill himself live on Facebook.
Do it. Do it.
If this movie is released. And a group of 300 women have petitioned the Indian government for the right to kill themselves. I mean, just kill yourself. Why do you need the right?
Like, just do it. The fuck? Like...
barely anybody has seen this movie. Mm-hmm. But they're all upset just because of the idea. I mean, they haven't even seen it. By the way, the guy who says he's going to kill himself on Facebook Live, he says he's going to wait until the movie comes out and sees how much money the movie makes first. I guess if it's a blockbuster, he'll have to kill himself. Yeah. But if nobody sees it, then it's not worth killing yourself over.
It's fuck off. Just do it. Like,
jeez, people. This is what you do when you don't like something. You either go on Facebook or Rotten Tomatoes and you rate it really low. Or you go to the movie theater with a sign saying, this movie sucks, don't see it, and protest. You don't kill yourself over a movie. I don't care if it's about religion or what you believe. You don't kill yourself. If you're dead, there's nobody to fight your fight afterward.
Fuck it. Do it. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't one of those suicides where I'm like, this person, they have some problems. It's not talking to somebody would really help. No, fuck you. Do it.
It's so ridiculous, though. Like, I don't like to wish death. No. I don't wish death on people, but come on.
I'm not wishing death on anybody, but do it. Just fucking do it. Like, don't talk about it. Just do it.
But there's protesting. I mean, the protests are over a movie.
A movie.
They're vandalizing movie theaters, toll booths, road dividers, buses, and cars. They attacked a school bus with children in it.
Yeah.
Come on, these kids didn't make the movie. They're not the producers. There's not money behind the movie. Come on.
I don't even know how to dig into this. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'm not trying to tarnish or paint a whole country, by the groups of some, but some people need to get their shit together and get with the program. This is not worth killing yourself over.
It's a movie. Like, what happened to you that you don't know that like it's a movie, it's fake, like it's shit ain't real, like no one's it's a movie. The fuck.
Yeah, get your priorities
It's a
straight.
movie.
I mean, you should be worried about like how women and girls are treated, or how the poor people are treated in your country, how there's not enough food, like lots of reasons, corrupt government,
Yeah.
lots of things to be upset about in your country.
A movie.
A movie is not the thing to be upset about. You know, like I said, go to Rotten Tomatoes and give it a bad rating, and that will make you feel better.
Don't see the movie. Don't give it money. Don't pay it any attention to kill yourself over it. I mean, I wouldn't have given a fuck about this movie or watched it or anything, but now that there's a controversy around it, I might watch it. You know what I mean? You're doing you're doing the opposite of what you want to do.
Publicity is good publicity, right? And you're right. There's going to be a lot of people around the world, maybe not necessarily in India, but a lot of people around the world that will watch this movie. Yeah. Just because, you know, people are losing their shit over
some crazy people who are so goddamn religious off themselves because of this movie. I am watching that fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, I never watched The Passion of the Christ. But if I would have heard that, like, a bunch of Christians fucking committed suicide over that movie, I'm like, fuck, I gotta give this a watch. Like, this sounds like if fuck their heads up, like, I might be into this. Like,
yeah, this might be the greatest movie ever made for you.
So, like, do it. And that, too, like, if you value your life so little, or that you believe that your life is so much of a bargaining chip that I'll kill myself is enough to stop. Like, no, then do it. See you later. Bye-bye. Like, you know, your family's going to hurt. And, you know, you get the typical thing from a suicide. Like, it's fucking tragic and shit. But, like, realistically, you accomplished nothing. Like, do it. I don't even care.
I mean, like, I get when people do, like, hunger strikes or, you know, those sort of things. But, like, to kill yourself live on Facebook over a movie.
You're not a Tibetan monk self-immolating to protest, you know, your oppression by the Chinese. Like that, I was like, wow, that's fucking tragic. That's that's one that wakes people up. But no.
Yeah, that's taking a noble stand. Yeah.
A movie came out and I don't agree with it. Fuck, my life is over. Like, all right, see you, bud. It's just so comical to me, like, to think that you're that important.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the 300 women, like, I mean, your families will miss you, I guess.
Yeah, like, people will miss you. People close to you will miss you, but it's not.
Nobody in the government or the movie industry is going to give a shit.
No one's going to fucking care. Like, and then, I don't know, whatever. Oh, fuck. I want to give money to this movie now. I want to see if, like, Buddy will do it. I want to call this guy's fucking bluff. Like, ugh.
Oh my god. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so a couple of stories about some things that are happening to gay couples around the world. So we have a story of Ethan and Aiden Davish Banks. Now, they're not a gay couple. They're toddler twins. Their fathers are gay. One is an American. One is an Israeli citizen. They met somewhere else, I guess, and got together. And after they had their children, now each one is a father of one of them, right? They had egg donor, but each one is an actual father. And they had, through a surrogate, and had their twins born at the same time, you know, minutes apart. And they're technically twins. So they went to get their American citizenship for the boys, and they were denied. One was given, the one that was biologically related to the American father. And the other one was denied because he's not related biologically. So he therefore is not allowed to have rightful citizenship, is what they're saying. My question is, then, if a woman and a husband used a surrogate and had a baby outside, because a lot of people go to, like, Philippines and Thailand to have their children in a surrogate. Now, I guess they're somewhat biologically related, but I mean, would they even be asked that question is my question. Would
Probably
they even question? But because you have two dads, they're obviously questioning.
Absolutely. It's weird. Like, this is a topic I feel excuse me, like, just so conflicted by.
Yeah.
It's weird because, I mean, at the same point in time, like, these are just two kids, they're brothers, you know what I mean? Like, gay parents, I mean, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Like, that's not even an issue, but it's immigration laws and shit like that are, you know, they are what they are for a reason, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But now this little toddler, 18 months old, I think it was, he's overstayed his visa, and he can at any time be deported.
Yeah, I know, it's fucked.
Did it say, oh, they gave birth in London, I think it said. Did they give birth in London? Yeah, that's where the babies were born. So,
and that too, for like this topic, I feel like just so under informed on it, like this kind of shit, because I would assume the kids are born in London, so aren't they English?
Well, I think I was reading in the article is normally when children are born to an American parent, whether it's overseas or in America, they're automatically get U.S. citizenship.
They're American, all right.
Right, which I think happens in Canada too, right? Like if I had a baby over in England, they'd still be considered Canadian citizens.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm torn too, because like, the law is the law.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm kind of one of those people that are like law followers, but then it seems ridiculous that we should distinguish this one child from his brother because, I mean, essentially they're a couple and the dad is American, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of, it kind of smacks of a little bit of, hypocrisy, because I really do believe that if it was just a straight couple and they went to get their citizenship, they wouldn't even ask for a DNA test.
No,
and they asked these couple for a DNA test. And there's a similar case happening with a lesbian couple. Very similar thing. One's, I think, German and one's American, and they met overseas and they had their surrogate children. And one has also been denied citizenship in America. So it's not like only these guys were singled out.
No.
But
there's
something in common with both couples.
I kind of get why the rule would be like this, though, because then it could be exploited so easily.
And people will always exploit the rules.
I say that all the time. It sucks, and I hope they can get through it. And I know it's going to be like legal fucking gymnastics, essentially, for them to be a family, which is fucking whack. But I mean, the rules are the rules for a reason, And
I was thinking, I'm like, but what about all these people that adopt, Chinese or Romanian babies? But I thought, no, they have to get their citizenship afterward.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading about the boy, and I think he's in Washington State, and he's an adult now, and his adopted family gave him up after. They had him for a while, gave him up and put him in foster care system, but nobody ever got him U.S. citizenship, and he's facing deportation.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up, like, to do that to somebody, like, to a kid.
But that's happened. You remember the case of the woman who sent her kid, who was like 11, back to Russia? She didn't want her anymore.
What? No, I don't. I remember
that happened. I can't remember if it was America or Canada. It was one of those two countries. I mean, it could be Canada. Sent her back to Russia because she didn't want her anymore. She was like big enough to know better.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sick. Like, you can't give back the baby you adopted. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
Now, was the couple married in America?
This is part of the problem. The couple was married in London, and now the U.S. government says they don't recognize the couple's marriage.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. That might be an issue for them, because
I think it was before the DOMA Act, which is the Defense of Marriage, right? They got married before 2013, so that's not technically a recognized marriage, I guess.
Huh.
But what's to stop them from getting married now in America? Like, get remarried?
Yeah, because Buddy still has a citizenship, but there's laws against that, partner, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It would depend. I mean, if he went and said, I was already married, right? We're in a marriage. I'm only coming here to get another marriage. His husband would still have to have whatever visa he has to get it to America.
Yeah. I don't know. This
I'm not a lawyer by any means.
It just sounds like a situation I'm glad I'm not in. It really sucks for these people because, again, I mean, it's just, you just want to have your family together.
Patty remembers the story. She says it was an American woman and the child was from Romania. Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's
really, really sick.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit that people do out there, man.
Oh yeah,
At
that's for
least she
fucking
didn't
sure.
sell the kid to, sex pedophile ring or
I
something.
just thought the same thing in sex slavery.
Although going back to Romania, who she's probably a
Yeah,
porn star now or
fucking
something
knows.
anyway.
God damn.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah,
Anyway,
people
so
suck.
I'll definitely be looking for this story, and I will update. And we'll see what
Mm-hmm.
happens with little baby Ethan and little. I can't remember his name because I closed the story, but the little brothers. Hopefully something's reconciled
Mm-hmm.
there. Now would they have British citizenship? At least they could be in Britain. It's a good country.
That's kind of my thing. Like, if that's where I would be trying to get my citizenship for these kids, is in fucking England. I'd much rather be there than the States. That's just me, though.
Yeah, same. Yeah, no, same for me. So the other gay couple. Now this one's, I don't want to laugh at them, but it's kind of like, so a gay couple was getting married. They ordered some, like the pamphlets that tell you what's going on next in the wedding.
Yeah, like a program.
Who the maid of honor is. Yes, the program. This is the word I was trying to think of. They ordered that. They ordered it from Vistaprint.
Okay.
And what they got on the day before their wedding was a box full of anti-gay pamphlets warning Satan entices your flesh with evil desires.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So they live in Australia. This is what they got.
Okay.
They ran out the night before or the morning of and got pamphlets printed, quick press or someplace like that. And now they're suing. But they're suing. I don't know why they're suing in Massachusetts. I guess maybe that's where Vistaprint is located.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it says here. It's based in Massachusetts. So they filed it and they're trying to, sue them. And I think they I think they should win.
Yeah.
I like that they haven't said that, like the whole day was ruined by it and all this stuff. Yeah. But, it was, like they said, it was most direct, personal, aggressive act of homophobia. Clearly, whoever put that in there knew what they were doing.
Oh, fucking right. The balls. But, I mean, the second you said Australia, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fuck. Those Aussies. They're a special fucking breed of person.
You know what? Yeah, I mean the Aussies. They're like, it is what it is, and there's no gray.
No,
whether you're pro or you're against, but there's nothing in the middle.
So fucked up. And that they should absolutely sue. Like fuck yeah. And that's one that and I'm not one for that like whole suing thing.
Yeah, like we didn't get our cake, that sort of thing. Yeah.
But no, fuck yeah, sue them people. That's fucked. I mean, no oversight at all. Like like just straight fucking like bullshit hate. Fuck's sakes.
Well, and it wasn't even just like something slipped into the pamphlet that could be overlooked. Yeah. It was full on, just full pamphlet.
Yeah, just hate speech, just straight fucking.
I saw a meme, and I don't normally share memes, but I liked this one. Kind of to do with this. It was if atheist doctors and nurses started declining Christian fundamentalists from service, and it kind of made me think, because whenever you see someone getting denied their wedding cake or their flowers, it's never atheists denying Christians or Muslims or Jews. It's always somebody else religion denying somebody else. So I guess it's just because atheists don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well,
about making a cake or making flowers.
I would say, though, that like if we were living in a society where, let's say, Islam was the big religion, where their conservative values were what reigned true, it would be a different fucking story. You know what I mean? It'd be all of them doing the same things. It's just...
Of course. I couldn't go into Saudi Arabia and ask them to make me a gay wedding cake.
Oh, fuck no.
I'd be thrown off a bill. Oh, sorry, that's ISIS. I'd be, put in jail.
Oh, you'd be stoned in the street. You'd flat out be fucking stoned in the street. Like, they don't play. It's like, oh, no, you broke a morality law. Death.
Yeah.
But... yeah. That's fucked up. Like, and even thinking, like, the balls on that fucking person... to straight up just be like, no, like this is what you ordered.
And they must know. I mean, Vistaprint would know who packaged up the order. Somebody has to initial that or put in a employee number, something.
Like someone's culpable for this fucking.
They took a stand, and that was probably. If that was in Australia, it'll never matter here.
No, but fuck's sakes, like that's just. that's a brazen move, man.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. People are.
I mean, and it would be upsetting. I would be upset if that happened to me on my wedding day.
100%. Like, I get that I'm laughing right now, but like that's just at the audacity of this motherfucker. It's just like, no, you're getting hate instead. Like, to me, that's comical just for the balls aspect of it, but that's a disgusting thing to do to a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, even in the name of like comedy or just just fucking around, like that's rough. Like, that's a fucking, you know, that's a rough thing to do to a human being. But hey, someone fucking did it. God damn.
Okay, so I don't know what we want to talk about next year. I guess we'll talk about the Afghan pedophiles since we're talking about Muslim people and stuff. So,
in international news.
Yeah, this is upsetting, and I'm not surprised by it, but it's still upsetting. So, this is from the New York Times. From 2010 to 2016, on 5,753 occasions, that's a lot of numbers, the United States military reported accusations of, quote, gross humane rights abuses by the Afghan military, including many examples of child sexual abuse. So what they're saying basically is, I don't know if people are aware of this. There's a thing. Let me see if I can find the exact name of it. Bacha Bazi.
Yeah.
This is a thing where young boys, like 10 to 15 usually, a lot of times they're dressed as girls. They dance for the men, and then they're passed around as sex slaves.
Yo.
It's not considered gay.
No. Even as much as like I'm disgusted about it, that one's like weird because it is against the law there. It's a very small group of people that do it. Like, which I mean, none of this makes it any better, but just want to, because it's a weird one. When I first heard about that,
it's like, not practiced by the whole country. You're right. It's practiced by a small group of men.
But it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. So now some of these guys are working in the Afghanistan military and working hand in hand with the American soldiers that are there, training them and trying to peacekeep and whatever they're doing there. And they've seen many instances where boys are being abused, and they're not allowed to report it. They're not allowed to do anything. There's been a couple of military guys that physically attacked these men for doing it. One boy was chained to his bed as a sex slave. And let me say his name because he's a hero. Special Forces officer. He's a former Special Forces officer. Captain Dan Quinn beat up an Afghan commander for that. Another one, Sergeant First Class Charles Martland, a highly decorated Green Beret, was forced out of the military after beating up an Afghan local police commander who was a child rapist.
Fuck. I mean, good on you, boys. Like, it sucks your military career's ended, but, like, good on you.
Yeah.
Fucking A. No, that shit's fucked up, and it's weird how we turn, like, a blind eye to it.
Because it's like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when they worked with the Taliban during the Russian attack on Afghanistan, the war there. They turned a blind eye to the Taliban because they were the ones that could help them get rid of whoever, the Russians. And then we turned a blind eye on this shit so that we can get the Taliban and Al-Qaeda out, And I'm not saying it's just the Americans doing this. I would 100% guarantee the Canadian government was complicit in doing these things too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fucking A.
Yeah.
It's fuck's sakes. It's weird though how we do that though. Like how we'll sit there and deal with like complete fucking just utter disgusting bullshit.
China, Saudi Arabia.
Right? Exactly. Like
all the South American places.
Yeah, it's fucked. And we just sit there and we take it. And we take it, we don't say or do anything, and I don't know. It's so fucking weird to me that they could, from like a command standpoint, tell the boys over there, no, don't worry about them raping children.
Everything, especially these military guys, everything that they've been told their entire lives and careers, and now they're being told just ignore it.
Yeah, because
I can't imagine being one of these guys and having to ignore it. Can you imagine sleeping with yourself at night?
Yeah, but like I like it like prison, really.
Yeah.
Like any child shit within the military, that stuff gets dealt with swiftly, and like, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're gonna hurt you, same as they would do in jail. Like anything to do with kids, like you're gonna have a bad fucking time, right? And yeah, it's messed to me that it's that, like, even that thought there is, it's kind of like societal, like we all kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, even not wishing violence on people and whatever, we all still, like, you know, when something bad happens to a kid, like being fucking raped, you know, we have that like gut reaction, like, oh fuck, like murder that dude, like
that's sick. Yeah, exactly. That guy needs to rot in hell. Whatever your thoughts
like,
are.
We get rough with it and sit there and tell the guys over there, no, you have to ignore that. Like, fuck sakes.
And it's, you know, and America has the reputation, you know, like it likes to hold itself above us, and not just America, many Western countries, you know, we're the liberators, right? You remember they were liberating Iraq.
Yeah.
I know they didn't liberate Afghanistan. They went to war with Afghanistan. They never said the word liberation, but they were there to make things better.
Yeah.
And for many boys there, I don't know if they're the whole 5,753 occasions. It could be other things, but I'm sure a lot of them are some innocent boys that are being abused, and maybe they don't even know they're being abused. Maybe they've been brainwashed into thinking it's normal too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's sick. It's sick.
And this is kind of another, like, it's kind of like a pro reason for me, at least, why we're over there, or why we should probably stay over and fuck with that part of the world until they get their shit together. You think about that. So think now, if the Americans decide to pull out, like, completely, like, we remove all military presence, or the West, sorry.
Yeah, the West leaves the Middle East in
right,
total.
we just leave it. We just fucking leave it. No nothing. No fucking, no footprint in that area of the world at all. Like, what do you honestly think is going to happen? That shit's going to happen. Where you're gonna see a resurgence of that type of fucking, like, just barbaric behavior.
Yeah.
Which to me is the reason.
The warlords will become into power again, and they'll just do whatever the fuck they want.
It's a fuck thing to say, because, I mean, me believing in, like, my own freedoms and stuff, and that means kind of like fuck any outside influence. Like, Canada, we deal with our shit in house, and we don't really have to listen to fucking whomever tell us what the hell to do. But I mean, anywhere where, like, you can even get a small sect of people, and I'll even say this about fucking, like, the polygamists here in North America, like, that kind of, like, abuse and shit just becomes, like, culturally acceptable. That's a fucking no that we should all have to stand up for. And, you know,
it shouldn't have taken years and years for them to rescue those bountiful kids. You know, or that Warren Jeffs or whatever his name is. Yeah, it took years and years to get those people shut down. And they fled from America into Canada. Yeah, and it still took more years for them to be shut down. That's sick as shit. That this is still happening in our countries. Come on, and we already know that Canada and U.S. are huge hubs for human sex trafficking, including children.
Yep.
You know,
it's fucking disgusting.
I mean, we're talking about the greatest country in the world, Canada, in my mind, and you know, this is still happening on the daily.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. Like, people are scum, and like it's fucking weird, because, like, again, I don't want to be the morality police. I don't even like the concept of morality police and shit like that. But something's got to be done, and I enjoy the fact that, you know, those few men that were over there that decided to stick up and fucking, you know, like, good on you.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like I said, those are the heroes.
You know, that type of shit just can't be made acceptable.
No. And what are you teaching? So, like, for all the guys that didn't say anything and had to follow the orders, right? Yeah. What are we then teaching? Maybe not the guys that, you know, just do what I say, but the guys underneath, you know, the privates and the, you know, the lower star. I don't know all the ranks. I'm not very military. Yeah. But these guys that are low level in the military, what are we teaching them? Well, you know, cover up things, not say anything, and maybe I'm interested in Bakabazi too, and I'm gonna get my own sex slave.
Yeah, no, that shit's fucked up.
Because we would be angry if one of our military men,
oh fuck yeah,
had sex with a minor boy, raped a minor boy, or raped a minor girl, right? We would be incensed. But we're permitting it here in Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's messed up. Like, it really is. Like, again, I don't think it, like, any nation or any race or any religious group or anything like that has any right to tell anyone how the fuck they have to live their lives. Yeah. But when shit like that's happening, yeah, I think it's time somebody comes and is like, no,
Yeah.
you can't live like this. We're not allowing you to live like this.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. Like, that's what we keep talking. We always bring up Saudi Arabia, right? That's our
Yeah.
number one partner. Everybody loves Saudi Arabia, but they have
Yeah.
so many human rights
Oh
violations.
yeah.
And but we still in China, right? We're still making big deals with China. We're still making big deals with Saudi Arabia because we need that oil or we need that commerce.
Yeah.
And it's like we sell our souls, while we turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Even though we keep talking about we're. And that's the thing. What do people keep saying? We just got voted the number 2 country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But we're dealing with people that have zero respect for human rights and the rights of children that allow them to be raped or have become a child bride. Come on.
No, it's fucked up.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that makes me disappointed in our leaders, and it's not just the leader right now. It's many leaders that have, gone hand in hand with these governments over the years.
Oh, yeah. They feel like, you feel like you have no other course of action. I'd imagine with them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the only thing that makes fucking sense to me why we'd work with certain places, especially during the times that they were doing it, because we were still, the West was like, we were okay with China during the whole Tiananmen Square shit, and that shit's fucked up. Like I watched a documentary on that a little while ago, and like I knew it was brutal, but holy fucking shit! Like I didn't know they were like driving over people with tanks and stuff.
I watched that live, Arthur. When that happened,
they fucking went that's fucked up.
That blew my mind when I was maybe in grade 9 or 10. I can't remember the year. And I remember watching that and just being like, this is literally happening to people. They're driving over protesters.
Yeah.
With tanks.
Yeah. Fucking tanks. That was fuck's sakes. And we just we're cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Give us some more of your cheap shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like that doesn't bother us. That's not, a morally fucking reprehensible or whatever. Like,
and it's so funny because you're right. We dealt with China. China's is the biggest communist country now.
Yeah.
But we were so afraid of the Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just true enough, I'd be scared. I'd be more scared of fucking China, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And I keep reading these stories about things happening in China this week. I don't know why it's becoming more. They talk about the restrictions on their internet and what sites they block. They have the facial imaging that they're following all the Muslims that are in Western China.
Huh.
There's a whole freaking city there that they track people, every single person, and they're trying to keep them in that area because they don't want the Muslim terror to spread into the rest of China, right?
Yeah. China's biggest power is the fact that they are Chinese. You know what I mean? That they're all fucking Chinese.
Yeah.
That it's like a hive mind kind of thing. There's no diversity there. There's no, and I'm not saying this is this is a cool idea or anything like that. It's just when you really do think about it, they are all the exact fucking same. Regardless of class or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. You don't have a huge group of, okay, now we got some Polish people, migrating here and mixing in with the races. Right. Yeah, exactly.
They are Chinese. So it would make sense why the people in power wouldn't want outside races or whatever the fuck you want to.
Well, and remember, communism is anti-religion, so they're not going to be happy with Muslim.
There it is too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, that's...
Did you see the video? I didn't watch the video. I just looked at the picture of the guy who bit the battery in China and it exploded in his face.
Yeah, congratulations, bud. There's your Darwin Award, you fucking idiot.
I loved that his girlfriend or wife or friend, whatever she was with him, the first thing she said was, "How are my eyebrows?"
Oh, fuck.
Yep, priorities in life. But
hey, I mean, I guess that's the way you test batteries. I don't know.
Don't do it.
No,
don't do it. We don't advise that here. No. The Bitter Knitters podcast does not advise that. Please don't do it. Okay, so I want to talk about this story. So there's a guy in Baltimore. He was he drinking? I don't know if he was drinking. I read this article. No, I think he just caused a fatal crash.
Okay.
Fatal crash where he killed a 66-year-old woman, Louise Donner. He killed them, and the judge sentenced him to, he's 33 years old, he sentenced him to 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and 500 hours of community service. I don't know if there's a minimum time he has to serve or if he can get out early, like they always make you serve just a little bit. But he's also, this is the part of the sentence I want to talk about, he's been ordered to carry a picture of the victim, whether it's in his wallet or in his pocket, but he's got to have it for the next 6 years. The judge thinks that that will remind Sims of the damage his actions caused and I guess make him feel sad the whole entire time. I would imagine this guy will almost never look at the picture.
Yeah, it's not going to work. That's stupid. Like,
I mean, we already know. Yeah, we already know that killing someone is bad.
Yeah.
Looking at their picture is not going to make you. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. I think that's ridiculous.
That's some old fucking like Catholic fucking guilt trip and shit right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I just don't think it's going to work.
No, that's. Like,
I mean, maybe. Just because it's a 66-year-old woman, I think maybe if it was children, like the guy that killed that whole family, the Nevilles.
Oh fuck yeah.
Looking at that picture would break your heart, and you'd have to order them to look at the picture, once a day at least.
Well, that's it too, right? That's dumb. I understand why he did it. Like the judge did it. Like I mean, that's some grandstanding and a half. Like you seem like a real fucking like cool hip dude doing something like that, but that's dumb.
Yeah. Oh, this is how he killed. He was fleeing an attempted traffic stop, and he caused the accident. Dumbass.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe order him to get a tattoo of her on his arm so he has to look at it every day. Something like that. The back of his hand where he has to see it constantly. I don't know. I just think in his pocket or in his wallet is not going to really do much.
No, it's not. That's stupid. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
You could have just sentenced him to a longer prison sentence.
Exactly. More probation, community service, something, Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But he did say that he did admit that he knows he's guilty. Mm-hmm. He did plead not guilty to, what was it?
The fleeing?
His not guilty plea to the manslaughter charges.
Oh, okay.
But then since he's been convicted, he said he does know he's guilty. So I guess he's come around knowing that he's not going to get away with it.
Yeah.
But, and then there was another prison sentence today that went out. I'm sure everybody knows about this one. This Dr. Lawrence G. Nasser, this is the guy that sexually abused over 150 women that were on the U.S. gymnastics team.
Jesus Christ.
Over the course of many, many years, he worked with them. Shocking, I will say this quickly. Many times the parents were in the room when this happened.
What?
Yeah, he would use his body to block what was happening. One woman said she saw her daughter grimace in pain and she thought he was working out a muscle on her leg. One dad was there, he's a cop, and he said something didn't feel right to him, but everybody said, oh no, this is the greatest doctor. So he pushed down those doubts. But he would, I guess, I don't want to get into details, but whatever he did to them, the parents were in the room almost, 90% of the time.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so he was sentenced to 75 years in prison. Mm-hmm. 40 to 175 years. He faced a minimum term of 25 to 40, but the judge gave him this. This is on top of 60 years, I believe, for the child pornography he was already charged with and found guilty for.
Huh.
So he's never getting out, which is great. He's 54. I don't think he's going to live, 60 to 80 years.
Might get murdered.
He'd be lucky if he lives I was about to say, he'd be lucky if he lives to get to 60.
Yeah.
Himself.
Depending on what kind of jail he goes to.
Well, I think that child porn was federal.
Okay.
So he might end up in a federal penitentiary.
Right on.
I don't know about, I guess the other one was the state. But I'm sure he'll go to federal prison first. And the federal prisons don't joke around.
No, and you deserve every bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not shedding one tear for him.
That goes to that point I was making earlier.
Yeah. You're a sick fuck and you deserve to rot in jail or... If someone takes you out, I'm not saying they should.
Yeah.
But if someone takes you out, I won't feel sad. I won't be like, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I'd be like, he got what he deserved.
Fucking right.
So yeah, but shocking. They allowed every one of his people that he'd abused.
Yeah.
To give a victim impact speech, and he at one point begged the judge to make it stop.
Huh.
No, you have to sit there and listen, you dirty fuck. Okay, that's all I want to talk about him. I don't care that much about him. I just want him to rot in hell. So,
yeah, fuck you, bud.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, bud, is right.
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, so this is the last story I have to talk about, and then I don't know what we're going to talk about. Sister Patty, you're listening. Give us a story. So, we talk a lot about AI and sex toys and hacking. Well, somebody somebody did it. Somebody went around the streets of London. No, Berlin. Sorry, Berlin. And what they did was is that, you know, they've got these sex toys that you can hook up to your phone so your partner can press the buttons or whatever. So they went around and they said most of these things come with a pin, and the pins are normally just like 000 or 1 2 3 4. And if you know, when you search for Wi-Fi or something, right, you get the list of all the Wi-Fi. They're normally things just like BLE or Bluetooth, you know, so you can find them easily on Bluetooth. So they went around and they were able to find all these different things, and then now they never connected and, you know, made anything happen to these sex toys.
Okay.
But they could do it, and they did it many times.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
So remember we talked about the sex doll that could kill the shit out of you.
Yeah. But there'll be somebody controlling that sex doll that's fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew this was going to happen. And it like, this one makes sense.
So when you get your sex toys hooked up to your internet or your Bluetooth, people, change the password. Make it hard.
Well,
make it like 6969 or something.
Because now that like this is kind of out, like that information's out, someone's going to hear about it, and they're just going to, you know, kind of make it their life goal to walk around and encounter somebody.
I would want to walk around just to see if I could see it. I wouldn't connect to it either myself. Yeah, but I'd want to see if I could find it.
You know what I mean? There will eventually be someone that's gonna. Oh yeah, fucking right. Like that's what I mean. Now that this is known that like you can do that, someone's gonna fucking just walk around and try to connect to random people's fucking sex toys and try to see if they can control. Like we done fucked up.
What if you were one of those like people that wear them out in public for the thrill while your person, you know, presses the button, and you're just at dinner and some rando gets you on Bluetooth and that's it?
That's what I mean. Like that shit, it's gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
We flew too close to the sun with this shit, and
it's Icarus. No.
Yeah, like we done fucked ourselves.
Oh my gosh. It's true though. It's
gonna be a thing.
We've been warning about it since the inception of this podcast, people.
Yeah.
They should have listened to us.
Yeah. No, we're playing with shit that we don't really understand. Like,
well, and that's, you've said it many times that the sex industry has driven a lot of this technology.
Fucking hate us,
right? And you know, and now we've got to pay the piper.
Even in like the smallest sense of that kind of statement, without porn, the internet wouldn't be fucking like a quarter of what it is. It would actually be shit. So even like porn gave us the internet. Like the sex industry really fucking like revolutionized.
As soon as they realized how much money they can make on the freaking internet, wow.
Boom. It was game over, right?
Yeah.
And now they're pushing us into fucking robotics and shit.
They are. Like, we're gonna have like the first. What will we have first? The first really amazing like police robot that can, you know, go into a riot or a bomb, or are we going to have a really good sex robot? I think we know the answer.
No, sex robot.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100% sex robot. Like that's a given. Yeah, ever since we started talking about them, like I start to like see more and more people bring them up and post shit about them on the internet, and I start to see some of them. Holy fucking shit! Like I can understand why somebody would buy one. Like
really?
if you were that shallow of a human being, where you know what I mean, where sex was the only fucking thing that mattered, like I could understand 100% why you'd get one. They look pretty fucking real. I mean, you can obviously tell it's fake. Like it's not, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. But I mean, if you have a blow up doll, it's better than a blow up doll, right?
Yeah. The sex industry is fucking. They own us.
It's driving a lot of things. I remember. I never watched one because it seems disturbing. But I remember reading about the first time when they took the little freaking microcams and inserted it on the man's penis to go inside the woman. That's weird. But I mean, I know I shouldn't say it's weird because there's a kink for everybody and whatever. But
no, fuck that. That's weird. Like you can say that's weird. Like that's fucking weird.
I don't want to see inside of there. I'm not a gynecologist.
No, what the fuck?
You know, I know what everything is in there. I can see it on a diagram. I don't need to see it with my own 2 eyes.
Like, well, again, and you can think
like
that's all the internet.
There's a lot of people that are into that. The medical thing, right?
Yeah.
The clamps and
there's people into everything.
I know. That's what I said to Logan one day. I'm like, if you can dream it, it's on the internet.
Yeah,
Somebody else shares it.
Rule 34 or some shit like that. It's some weird like thing I've seen on like forums back in the day and even Reddit. And it's like, if it exists, there's porn of it. And it holds true. Like, honestly, pretty much every like realistic kind of scenario or thing you can think of, there's porn of it on the internet.
That's absolutely true.
Like, and it's fucked. It's insane that we can say that we live in a world where, like, you know what I mean? Like, amputee, like, golfer porn or some shit, and it's there. Like, it's there. Sex on the golf course for amputees. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
how'd they get there?
Production. Dave in production owns a van, so he drove most of us.
Jeez, oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, the sex robot thing's fucking cool and it's interesting, but it's true though. I am waiting for that time when we do get like the at-home androids or some shit like that, like something to, a butler.
Like, let me tell you, if I could get a maid, my life would be so much easier. I wouldn't have to do anything, and like that would be fantastic.
Like, what's her name from the Jetsons?
Rosie.
Rosie, yeah. I just want a Rosie. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I don't need a sexy one.
No, I don't want to bang the robot maid, although that is an idea. And if we get on those now, we might be able to make some money.
That show Humans I've talked about previously. Yeah. That's kind of how they have all these different robots that do the different things. And the one robot that's centered around the family, the son tries to get it to, give him a little handy. And then the dad actually puts in the sex programming and has sex with it. And then he's like, forget it. Because he was like, so like ashamed of himself. And then the wife found out. That was a big.
Well, you bought it to be a maid, not to fuck. Like, like you let us all down, Jerry. Like, you really
exactly. did. Exactly. The robot was pretty hot, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah. But no, because, I mean, the sex robot part's already getting figured out for us. We just got to figure out how to make the robot clean shit. And then
that's what I need. Clean it, don't break it. Vacuum, wipe down the counters. Fold my laundry, please. I don't mind doing laundry. I hate folding it so much.
Because, I mean, again, I have that feeling that the guys that are buying these things probably need someone to clean up after them as well.
Okay, here. Sister Patty has given us an idea. I don't know anything about it. Have you heard of Hanging Oak beer?
No. I hope it's not the one they pee in.
Gross. I hope not either. Nova Scotia Brewery. I'm getting this from CBC, so I'm going to read it. I want to give them all the credit. Brewery's decision to use the image of a tree and a noose on one of its product cans is being denounced as racist by some critics.
Fuck out of here. I'm sorry. Black people weren't the only fucking people to be hung. Like, I'm so sick of this shit. Like, seriously, people were hung here in Canada for committing crimes hundreds of years ago. Not all of them were fucking black. I actually wager most of them weren't fucking
people were hanged right up into, the 50s here?
Something like that. You know what I mean?
The last hanging? Yeah.
I'm so sick of this. A noose in a tree is not fucking indicative of racism.
Well, especially here in Canada. I mean, there wasn't, as far as I know. Now, I don't know a lot of Black history in Canada because they don't teach it to us.
No, they don't.
But I'm not aware of a ton of lynchings like in America.
No. Honestly,
if I'm wrong, please prove me wrong, because I love to learn history, and I will always admit when I'm wrong about that. They have it's called Tusket Falls Brewing Company. They've got a few cans here from what I can see. There's Crack of the Rock. There's Twice Barrel Shotgun. And Smoked Kiak? Clack? I think it's Kiak. Yeah, and these are the different types of brewery. The Hanging Oak is a red IPA. I don't know what that means. But yeah, I guess people are upset by it. Halifax teacher Ben Sitchell says the image of the noose hanging from the oak involves lynchings and is offensive.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Fuck you and your white savior fucking complex. Like, seriously, you're a fucking fool. There's nothing.
Maybe he's not a white guy. Maybe he's black. You don't know that.
It's the same fucking thing. And I'm willing to bet that he is white. No,
well, he does mention, I don't know if it's him. Somebody's mentioning, yeah, it's him. The Black Loyalist in Shelburne County, down in Nova Scotia.
Yep.
He says, but he doesn't. He doesn't mention it.
If you look into Nova Scotian history, they were not very kind to the black
No, they weren't. He says
population.
Okay, so here we go. Reynard, who opened his brewery in December, said the products were named to tie them to the local history and landmarks.
Mm-hmm.
He said this tree is part of Tuscany's history. It's around the corner. They call it the hanging oak. It's not hanging oak. It's not meant to be offensive. It's a local landmark.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't call it that. I don't care. But you got to know that that was going to stir up some controversy and some free publicity, right?
No, I doubt that. I'm honestly willing to say that they just like the imagery of it. It sounds pretty cool. Like if I seen that can and I was out shopping for craft beer, I'd probably get it.
Have you seen or read any of the Hunger Games books?
I've seen the movies.
Okay, well, you remember I don't know if she sings the song, but there's a song that is, features prominently in the books about the hanging tree.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody gets hanged, no matter what color you are.
Well, that's what I like. The thing is if you're always looking for fucking racism, you're gonna find it.
Yeah,
stop
that's
fucking
true.
Like this isn't racist. It's a fucking just a noose on a tree. Like black people were not the only people fucking hung. I'm sorry. Like and
traitors, right? People that desert it.
Exactly. Like fuck you. I'm so tired of
pirates.
this shit.
Weren't pirates hung a lot of time when they caught them?
I think like pretty much historically any criminal anywhere.
I guess
hung,
it's because it's in the tree, right? Like, in a lot of the times they built the whole hanging platform, and that's where you got hung. I guess people associate the tree with lynchings, right?
It just bothers me. It just bothers me that that's an issue. I can understand like if it was called like if it was named after a dude who was hung in a fucking tree, like who was lynched.
Yeah.
And then you have the picture of a fucking
that he wasn't lynched, but he was beat up, right?
But you know what? Exactly.
Emmett Till Bill. Beer would be pretty offensive, yeah.
That to me, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? You guys crossed the fucking line. Here, you're just being a dick. You're just stirring up shit for the sake of stirring up shit. This is stupid.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
I mean, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. Show them with your money that you don't like it.
Well, yeah, but see, this is the progressive shit that I always get on, and like the lefty shit or whatever you want. However, I'm gonna explain that. This is the shit I mean though, like where progress for progress sake starts to get fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because you just you're looking for a fucking boogeyman. So of course you found it. Like of course you fucking stumbled upon this big bad boogeyman because you were out there fucking actively searching for it.
Well, we've got twice barrel shotgun. If my family member was killed by a shotgun, should I be offended now?
Does Courtney Love get to fucking make a big stink because her husband gave himself the old shotgun smile?
Yeah.
And fuck off. Fuck off. It bothers me. It really does. Because it cheapens, to me at least, it cheapens actual fucking cases of hate, discrimination, and prejudice and racism. Every time these people fucking cry wolf. Because then you start angering people who just think this shit's fucking ridiculous. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Now the guy Reynard, the guy who started this, he says if black people in the community are complaining, the brewery will make the changes. But from I guess what I'm looking at on these Twitter feed, only one black person is complaining. Everybody else looks to be white that I can see.
Boom. Told you, the whole white savior fucking complex.
And he just said it like this. I will say this. The first guy who tweeted, his name is Charles. He says, back to work on the marketing strategy for the red IPA. Unless, of course, you're planning on using the news on your marketing team. So he doesn't really say anything that badly. But then you've got, are you kidding me? Yeah. This is KKK IPA. And, apologize to the black people of Yarmouth.
No. It's a fucking noose in a tree. It's not fucking three hooded figures burning a fucking cross. It's a noose in a tree. It's just so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
He does say this, which kind of sounds like something you would say. They're just odd people. Some people, they walk down the street, they get offended by anything. They're a small minority, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they're the ones that are yelling the fucking loudest.
They're the loudest. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yeah, it's just annoying. And again, I said this on an earlier show, because of this same kind of bullshit, the terms like racist and white supremacist, to me, have pretty much lost all their fucking meaning.
Yeah.
Because even an
you
instance
throw
like
it at
this,
everybody.
everything is now racist. Everything is white supremacist. Everything is this. It's when it's not. When it's truly not.
And you're so busy pointing at the shadows, you're missing the real threats, the real people that are coming for you and are real racists.
It really fucking aggravates me. Like, it really does. And it's small things like this fucking IPA thing that boils my blood the most, because it's such a non-issue. Like, this is such a fucking, like, this should never have been, like, spoken.
Way bigger fish to fry here, people.
Exactly. Like, this is not something that should be spoken into fucking existence. Like, this was dumb. The person who's upset by this is dumb.
Well, you know.
Dumb.
Okay, so we'll just spend the last couple minutes talking, I guess, because we've got Elton John announced he's retiring today, and what's his name? Neil Diamond announced he was retiring yesterday, because he's got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
You know, my dad loved Neil Diamond growing up, but I mean, he had a long career. So did Elton John. It's sad that they have to retire. Hopefully, there's no health issues with Elton John. It's just he's tired.
That's what bands do, though. They get tired. They stop touring. I mean, not a band you give a shit about, but Slayer, they're doing the same thing right now. They're doing their farewell tour.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Kenny Rogers is. Like, I follow Kenny Rogers on Facebook. He's on his farewell tour. Cher's had 1 million farewell tours.
Yeah, I don't believe her, like, ever.
Me either. Me either. But it's always sad, you know, like these, like, even Slayer. I mean, I'm not a Slayer fan, but I know who Slayer is. They've been around since I was a kid.
Yeah, how could you not?
You know, it's sad to see when the classics are getting too old, because then you're like, shit, I'm getting old too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's actually kind of weird. I was thinking that the other day. I was listening to some stuff from when I was a teenager, and I was thinking that, like, when I seen the date, I was like, holy fuck! Like, when you listen to the songs of your youth, like, you feel young, you still feel that youth.
Yeah, that nostalgia.
And then they start doing like farewell tours, or like people die and shit, and then like, to me that was always, it's always been like that kind of wake up call of going like, fuck,
yeah,
like I'm getting old, like time's just fucking
Sister
ticking by.
Patty says Rush is retiring too.
Yeah, they already did
that.
Okay, Rush called it quits like last year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The pretty sure Alex Lyson, the guitar player, has pretty bad arthritis, so he can't really play.
I think I did hear that. Now that you mentioned the guitarist and
which
the
is,
arthritis.
you know, that's a horrible. That's just horrible for the world, because like Rush is everything.
Do you don't watch a lot of TV, right?
Like,
I guess you've never watched The Goldbergs.
No.
Okay, so there's this episode. It takes place in the 80s, and there's this episode where the daughter, who's like kind of like a poppy kind of, you know, typical 80s girl, she's hanging out with like the school stoner, and he's like, listen to this, and it's the Tom Sawyer music, that right, and she's just like, whoa, my mind is blown. Right?
Yeah, fucking right. Like, fucking right. Like, listen to Rush. I mean, Rush is variety. Like,
I'm not a huge Rush fan. I know a couple songs, but I mean, I'm not going to say that they're crappy.
No, they're fucking.
It's just not my thing. Did you see Eric Clapton's probably going to have to retire because he's deaf, basically?
Oh wow, I figured his heart would have given out due to all that fucking cocaine, but
yeah, some of them can't be killed, man.
Yeah,
look at
I know.
Freaking all the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and it's fucking. The other week, the final member of Motorhead passed.
Oh.
And I was thinking about that, and that's like the only band that I know of where, unfortunately, every member is dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's still two Beatles.
You'd have to go way
around.
back to like the 40s and stuff. Yeah, the Beatles. Right, that's true.
Right. So it's like, I don't know.
And you still have the Rolling Stones touring.
Yeah,
people are retiring, and freaking Rolling Stones are still touring.
As long as there's blow somewhere, those guys are living. Like, there's
that's all that's in their
voice. Yeah, there's no keeping them down. But that's gonna be
as long as there's hot young girls, and
that's gonna be a sad one when one of them old bastards fucking die.
It'll be. I don't know if it'll be shocking, but it'll be sad for sure.
I don't think it'll be shocking at all. I think it'll honestly. Well, I'll give it like, yeah, it's about fucking time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that.
You know what? And you'll never say it's sad, because it'll be like they fucking lived a life.
Oh fuck yeah!
You know, a life that we could all be jealous of for the most part. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there's I mean, there's obviously the momentary like feeling of like loss and grief and shit like
that they're
that. But not,
gone. But
yeah, no, you can't look at any of them and be like, oh man, what a hard life you had.
still doing 22-year-old models at the age of 75 and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly.
Poor Mick. He
Yeah.
went too soon.
Yeah, there were still too many like, fuck grandkids to be born for you to marry. And, like,
exactly.
fuck's sakes. Yeah, it's gonna start happening, and I mean,
Yeah.
you think about it. Music celebrities huge. Like we follow these people with like the most like ferocious love that we can
because they write
really
the
muster.
songs of our lives. It's such
Right,
a cliche thing, but those are the songs of our lives. And
exactly.
a song can bring you right, like you said, to your child, right back to a moment in time.
Oh yeah, fucking right. So yeah, like when they die, you get fucking hurt.
Yeah,
like, it hurts.
Yeah, and it is like even if it's somebody who's old or they've been sick for a while and you're expecting it, it's still that momentary shock and like, oh my gosh. But yeah,
and it's gonna happen a lot in the next little bit.
Yeah,
because I mean, when you really look at it, like big popular kind of music, like and I mean like modern era ish kind of shit, but like mid 60s, maybe even early 60s to like now, when like music celebrity became fucking like really, really, really big, when there's so many like famous musicians, people that we love.
Yeah.
But most of them come from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, mine would be 100%
exactly.
60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah.
Like so many great fucking.
Well, it was shocking. You like when David Bowie died, when Whitney Houston died.
Henley.
Yeah, Don Henley. Yeah.
Right, like fucking amazing songwriters, and like they wrote fucking like classics, like songs that like I can't say everybody because I mean I don't give a lot of like hope or respect in the newer generation in regards to that kind of shit, but like big fucking songs, and they're all gonna die, and you're gonna see a lot of people like really hurting over that shit.
Yeah, you will,
and rightfully so. I mean, again, I get it. There's people that I just love as musicians, and if they pass, I'll hurt like I lost a fucking family member.
Yeah, well, the same you were saying about Liz when Gord Downie from Tragically Hip passed away.
She broke down.
Yeah. Anyways, that should be the end of our show. Thanks for listening. I'll be back on Sunday with Justin for our TV edition, and we'll be back on Monday at 6:30 p.m. with hopefully Ryan and Arthur and myself.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.